Welcome to Whiskey One, the channel for the novice, the curious, and the connoisseur. I'm Whiskey One, and today we're going to be reviewing and tasting the new Riff Single Malt. So stick around. All right, Whiskey fam. So today we are going to get into something a little different from bourbons and ryes when you think about new Riff. And when I saw this bottle in Denver, Colorado, I thought, well, I've never seen a single malt from New Riff, so I better try it. And I got my hands on it. But before I do, I want to give a quick shout out to all my patrons. I want to say thank you for supporting the channel and always showing love to Whiskey One. And also for all you guys that are subscribing. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet and you're a new sipper to the channel, I would love to get your support. Also comment. We haven't been making as many videos this year, only because we've been doing a lot more community events and doing a lot more engagement with all of you guys. So whether it be a tasting or doing an Instagram live session, we've really just been trying to get more active within the community rather than making production and doing videos. So without further ado, let's get into this, shall we? This is going to be a fresh cork pop. I haven't opened it, so I really have no idea what I'm into with this one, but ooh, got a nice nose, I'll tell you that. So let's get into the deets for all you whiskey nerds right up front. It's a sour mash single malt. It's aged for 7 years, and it's bottled at 56.9% cask strength. Now, I did go to the New Riff website because I wanted to get some deets that maybe weren't on the label, and wouldn't you know, they essentially have the same bit of information that's on the label itself. So here's what you need to know. They use up to like 6 different mash bills. I'm going to get into that. And they use different cask types. Now, the word they use is multiplicity of cask types. Yeah, multiplicity of cask types. But I thought, okay, multiplicity. I didn't really see much further detail than that. So even though they are a bit transparent with letting us know that they're using different cask types, they really didn't tell us. But I'm going to guess that they probably use some sherry, some Oloroso sherry, or maybe Pedro Jimenez or something like that. I just do not know. So if you do know, drop a comment. Let me know. I'd love to hear, what you found out or what your thoughts are on that. So let's give this a taste. So cheers to all you guys watching. And let's start with the nose. And as I get into the nose, I'm also going to read off a little bit of those 6 mash bills. The 6 mash bills include 100% Maris Otter, a classic British ale malt, 100% Golden Promise, a classic Scotch whiskey malt. If you ever get into Balcones single malt, they use a lot of 100% Golden Promise. Barley wine style. After high gravity, heavy bodied barley wine ales, Belgian quadruple style in the fashion of rich, mellow Trappiste ales. I love me a good Trappiste. Or a Belgian quadruple. Also, 100% Scottish peated barley malt, heavily smoked and pungent. Ooh, love me some peated malt. 100% Chevalier heirloom malted barley. I'm sure somebody's gonna correct me on the mispronunciation of Chevalier. And 1820s vintage English variety. Damn, that's a mouthful. That's a whole lot of 100%. So I don't know about you, but when it comes to math, you can only have so much 100%. But yeah, let me know, is it Chevalier? Is it Chevalier? It's Chevalier. I think it's Chevalier. Let's go with Chevalier. I like Chevalier. And you should too. Very sugary up front, sweet. If you didn't tell me that this was a single malt, I'd almost peg it for a bourbon. Like a high malt bourbon. But on the nose, it's a bit bright, a little fruity, orchard fruits. I think this needs to breathe a little bit. It's sort of off their usual focus, which is on their bottled and bond stuff. A lot of their bourbons and ryes tend to focus on bottled and bond releases. And again, that's one of the reasons I wanted to get this bottle. It just felt like, oh, something new, something a little bit different. And I've had their bourbons and ryes, and if you haven't, I'm just gonna let you know right now, they're pretty fantastic. Not a lot of complexity to it, but I get like bright apples, dare I say apple pie. I get a good buttery note. I also get a lot of honey, toffee. There's a good amount of sweetness to it. Just like a subtle dried pepper on there and some ginger. If you've ever had dried ginger, usually the type that you'd like chew on, there's a bit of that going on. And I get a little nuttiness and a subtle amount of like root beer. So we're going to interrupt this review to mention to all you guys watching that if you're interested in a whiskey hat, also called a Glencairn cover, that goes over the top of your Glencairn, hit me up, reach out to me. I would definitely send you one of these, maybe two if you're nice. I'll mail them out, totally free, especially if you haven't had one yet. I have in different colors. We got the all black there with the gold and turquoise lettering, and then we have metallic copper and metallic turquoise. Look at this sucker here. We got a metallic turquoise and copper writing. How cool is that? And last but not least, we have just a few of the gold ones, the gold metallics with the black and turquoise lettering. So hit me up if you're interested. I personally enjoy these, especially now that it's getting hot. The bugs are flying, and who likes a whiskey with little bugs in it? I don't. Me personally, I could do without it. So hit me up, let me know if you want one of these. Cheers. So let's get to the taste. Cheers. Cask strength, right? Not very aggressive at all. That cask strength just gives you a little bit more of a warming sensation. Not a lot of burn. It's not like very peppery or anything like that. Now, the taste, I think, is where it really shines versus like, you know, it's not very aromatic. I'll just let you know that right off the bat. Not very aromatic on the nose, but on the taste, again, it comes back to that like apple pie, close to a peach cobbler. Now, I'm a huge fan of peach cobbler. I'm sure some of you guys like peaches, stewed peaches, so that's kind of what I get. Some apricots as well, and you get that whipped topping to go with your peach cobbler. Get a little bit of graham cracker. And you know, going back to that nose, you get more of a like a peppery, like a white pepper note that hangs out there, just to give a little spice. So I'm gonna go back to this. Okay, so on that return sip, I get, I get like a cross between a walnut, an almond, and almost like a pecan, not quite. Pecans, like a pecan tends to be a little bit more like wood forward, but this is drying. It's got a bit of a dry like aftertaste. The finish does linger a lot more with like that nuttiness, and there's just a subtle, very, very subtle chocolate note to it. And again, white pepper sort of pervades. It hangs on to that palate. And I like that this is bottled at cask strength. To me, I'm just a sucker for the cask strengths. I like the barrel proof stuff. I like the high end, high octane. I like the high end, high octane. I like the high octane stuff. And certainly this is going to get you there. As far as the price point, I got this for about 85, I think I want to say 85, 90 bucks. And I thought it was a little bit on the high side, but again, when I go out of state and I travel, I'm looking for the stuff that I can't find here in New Mexico, and this was one of those bottles that once I saw it, I was like, if I don't get it now, I don't know when I'm ever going to come across it. So I'm pretty sure that if you don't have it in your area, you could probably find it online. There's plenty of online sites these days, so who knows. But as far as who do I think this speaks to, let me take one more sip, and I will definitely let you know that. Yeah. Okay. So that return sip helps to get your palate like opened up a little bit. And again, being cask strength, you know, it's meant to probably give you a little bit more heat. It doesn't burn. It just gives you a little bit more of the Kentucky hug. But you get more nuttiness, almond butter, you know, chocolate cocoa. And like I said, you just have this like white pepper or dried pepper afterburn that's going on. But as far as who I think this speaks to, I personally think this is for the whiskey curious. For no other reason than, you know, you can find a lot of single malts out there, a lot of American single malts out there, but it's rare that you find a lot of Kentucky American single malts. But this gives it a good spin. I feel like it's closer to a bourbon though than an American single malt. And I don't know if it's just because, you know, it's a fresh crack. You know, we're really getting into this. It hasn't had any time to sort of open up. So what I probably will do for you guys that follow me on Instagram and Facebook is do a written review where I get a little bit more time with the bottle, let it open up, probably come out with my review in a month or two to see if it really does kind of like expand, if the tasting notes really start to evolve with a little bit of oxidation. But like I said, I think the whiskey curious would certainly appreciate it. 100%. Now, would I recommend it for the price point? I don't know that I recommend it for the price point. And that's where I feel like, okay, this is a solid whiskey, but a solid whiskey doesn't need to cost $90. I think that the price point alone may sort of distract folks from maybe looking at something else. Why is that? Well, personally, I think a good solid whiskey should cost between, you know, 60, 70. That's just my personal opinion, especially these days, because I hear like whiskey is not selling as good these days. Let me know your comments on what you feel is the reason why whiskey is sort of on a downhill trajectory when it comes to like sales, right? It could be that there's just too many bottles out there that are really high, and you know, I think we all have inflation to blame for that. But I also think that just because you come out with a special release or a new release doesn't mean like we should be just opening our wallets up to get it. I got it because I'm a whiskey aficionado. I personally will spend a little bit of extra cheddar on this. I just don't know that $90 is where I'm at with it. I think at, like I said, 60, 70 bucks, you got me for sure. I would probably even get a second bottle in the future. But that's my take. So for all you guys watching, I appreciate you guys showing the love. Let me know what you think. If you have a whiskey, you know, sotol, an agave spirit, mezcal, tequila, because now we're getting more into that tequila and mezcal season. Let me know what you want me to review. I would love to feature your bottle. Some of you guys are here in Albuquerque, and let me borrow your bottles just so I'll do a review. So if you are watching and you're one of those folks, let me know. Reach out to me. Here at Whiskey One, it's about the one you enjoy. Cheers.